Where does ISIS go after Mosul? The caliphate declared from a pulpit in Mosul 3 years ago is in tatters, with the remnants of Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi's forces expelled to the desert and beyond. After 9 months of combat, the Iraqi Security Forces have reached both banks of the Tigris River in Mosul, and Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi has celebrated victory over ISIS in the country's second largest city. In the Syrian city of Raqqa, a rebel force heavily supported by the US, on the ground and from the air, have pushed ISIS back into an ever-shrinking enclave. Remorseless airstrikes against ISIS sources of revenue, especially oil, and against its leadership have dramatically weakened the group's ability to sustain and organize its fighters. But ISIS planned for this day. It began fortifying Mosul for the inevitable attack by Iraqi forces as soon as it took the city in June 2014. It came from an underground movement, organized in cells across Sunni parts of Iraq, and will try to revert to life as such. US officials say senior figures in the movement have gone to ground in the Euphrates Valley around the city of Deir Ezzor in eastern Syria, the last place where the group is prominent. Before he was killed in a drone strike last year, ISIS spokesman Abu Mohammed al-Adnani said that potential setbacks in Mosul and Raqqa would not spell the group's end. No, defeat is losing the will and the desire to fight, he said. Even as the group's territory has shrunk, and its all-consuming bureaucracy has collapsed, its ideology endures. To the vast majority of those who have experienced rule under ISIS, it holds no appeal, only memories of terror and hardship. But to some Sunni in both Iraq and Syria, for whom the hated Shia, the Safavid, and the Crusaders are existential enemies, the fight will continue. Since its inception, ISIS has prepared for the day after the caliphate. Its battle cry has long been Baqi ya wa tadamadad, or remain and expand. But the battle has always been seen in millennial terms. There is a saying of the Prophet often quoted by ISIS ideologies and followers: a victorious band of warriors from my followers shall continue to fight for the truth. Despite being deserted and abandoned, they will be at the gates of Jerusalem and its surroundings, they will be at the gates of Damascus and its surroundings. While its expansion may take generations, the group's leadership is ready for a stateless Islamic state despite being deserted and abandoned. ISIS has cultivated deep roots in Sunni parts of Iraq, less so in Syria, where many jihadists regard it as an interloper. Over the past decade, the group has developed networks skilled at raising money, obtaining weapons, and clandestine organization across a wide swathe of Iraq, from Diyala in the east to Raqqa close to the Jordanian border.